There's a lot of anecdotal advice around on improving your marriage. But if you want something you can really use that will actually make a difference and reignite your marriage, check out the link in the description below.
The question, what are the cons of marriage counseling? The biggest disadvantage to seeking marriage counseling that I personally experienced is that it's an industry that relies on repeat customers to sustain. Much like online dating sites, marriage counseling is designed to keep you coming back for more and spending more and more money with the implied assurance that there is something that can be fixed within the relationship. If a therapist or counselor were completely honest with most of his or her clients, they would get very little business. You also get a lot of terrible advice if you end up with a counselor with strong religious leanings who personally does not believe in divorce. Because that therapist wants to keep couples married at all costs, it is going to be impossible for him or her to be objective and basically do the right thing. 4 years of marriage counseling, and I can assure you that things between me and my now ex-husband were not going to get better. Because up until the last therapist we saw, not one of them told him that he needed to get off his duff, get a job, and stop whining because we couldn't live a fantasy expat life in Costa Rica. Then finally, there was the very last therapist who pulled me into her office alone and told me that I had legitimate cause to pack it in because my now ex had no sense of reality. I'll never forget that. You are likely not going to get that brutally frank therapist the first go around. Relationships begin, and relationships end. So do marriages. I don't make light of committed relationships. Marriages are leaps and bounds more precious insofar that a couple is committed to each other's long-term well-being. Obviously, if you weren't committed to the well-being of your partner, you would have never married that person. But sometimes the long-term well-being of one or both is not best served by remaining forever married, and it is always extremely sad when this happens. If you end up with the wrong therapist, you could end up buying into the sunk cost fallacy until one day it's too late to do anything about it, and you're just stuck. Everyone has had rocky patches. The difference between it being a patch and a drop of a cliff is what you do now. Check the link in the description if you want a helping hand.